party that does what we say we are going to do.
Okay.
People may have been skeptical about Nana Akufo-Addo.
Okay.
There was this feeling that, well, John Mahama is our brother. So he made that case, right? That he's our brother, and so we should vote for him rather than Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Now, that argument was there in 2008, 2012, and 2016.
Okay.
Right? He made that case. He made it in the region. Now, he had the opportunity for 8 years as our brother, right? Vice President and President for 8 years.
Okay.
Now, after those 8 years, what is the accounting that has been done for what he actually delivered to the people of the Upper
He gave
West?
us a green book.
Yeah, the green book is a green book,
okay.
right? The green book is a green book. We want things on the ground, right? But when you campaigning that you should be voted for because you are our brother, you are from the north, and you come in and your legacy in the north is nothing to write home about, we have a problem, right? Because what was the development strategy? Samuel, they had SADA. Savannah Accelerated Development Strategy, SADA. After $100 million of SADA expenditure, there's not one project of SADA in the Upper East region that you can point to. Not one. Not in the northern region, not in the Savannah region, not in the Upper West region, not in the Northeast region. Not one. 5 regions. Now you come as your flagship program under SADA, and you cannot point to one project as a legacy, right? Other than the guinea fowls that flew to Burkina, right? You cannot. Now we have brought the Northern Development Authority. And the Northern Development Authority, as I say, there is no constituency in any of the northern regions, no constituency or district that you cannot find projects dotted around. Like I told you, Bolsa South is an example. They've given every polling station has a project.
That's why you mentioned about 1,488 projects underway.
That's right.
688 completed in the entire Upper East region. And people were asking me, Sam, where can we find that project or those projects? Is it on your
yes,
delivery tracker?
Go to the delivery tracker.
Everything is there.
Everything is on the delivery tracker. Right. So deliverytracker.gov.gh. Now go and search. Go to Upper East region and go and apply for projects. Click projects. It will give you all the projects. Those have been and it will give you by constituency. You select whichever constituency you want. This is not green book stuff, right? This is real digital stuff, right? So
and is the digital really reflective on the ground? Is it really reflective on the ground?
Yes.
Everything is real.
Yes. I mean, you see, this is the what we have done with the delivery tracker, Samuel. No government in Africa has been able to do that.
I see.
We are the first government in Africa to do it, and probably one of the very few in the world to do this. And I've had various comments from international institutions saying that, personally to me, from people who work in some of those international institutions, personally to me, saying, congratulating me and congratulating the government for what we have done with the delivery tracker. Because the good thing about it is that it's transparent and it's accountable. So everybody can go and see. And if it's not there, you say, no, it's not there. And then we'll find out why it's not there. And you see, Samuel, one of the interesting things about when we look forward to the next budget, God willing, that in March we have to come up with a new budget. When we come to capital expenditure, for example, the delivery tracker is going to help us a lot, because the question is, what are the projects that have not yet been completed? We have almost 18,900 and something projects that we have done in the whole country. We've completed about 10,000 of those projects, and we have about 8,000 and something not yet done. Now, so when we get there, we are going to say, okay, we're about to do the budget. Now, let's look at the capital expenditure. Why are you going to start new things in this area when you haven't yet finished all of these other projects? Let's prioritize the completion of these projects first, and then we can proceed. So it will bring some discipline to capital budgeting, and it is something that we have never had in this country.
Okay.
And it is very, very good for us.
All right. So
yes.
if you just tune in, it's an interview with His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, the number 2 of the country. He has been home. He's back home. He says he's home to see how we are faring. And we've been talking about what his government has done so far, what he has observed in the areas he has visited so far. Now, Your Excellency, you've spoken much about Zongo Development.
Yeah.
How really passionate and committed are you, not just the government, but you in per se, in championing the agenda of the Zongo communities? What have you been doing?
Well, thank you very much, Samuel. I think that the Zongo communities are one of the communities. When you look at it, we have about 1,000, so far we have counted 1,080 Zongos in Ghana.
1,080.
Right?
Okay.
And that is very significant. And you know the nature of the Zongo, you know, a lot of people who move or who settle in many of the communities tend to live in very deplorable conditions in many of these Zongos. And for the longest time, the Zongos have been very excluded from the mainstream government economic interventions. They've been very excluded. And so for Zongo development, largely it has depended on what we call fi sabidillah, right? So you beg and say, okay, I want to build, I want to build, get a borehole, and then so now let's contribute.
Do la la su la la,
and then you can start it, and then you start it. I want to build a classroom, and then your contribution takes you to foundation level, and that is where it stops, you know. And so when we looked at the Zongos across the country, we realized that they had been excluded. And so in the 2016 manifesto, we're very, very clear that we would establish a Zongo Development Fund to help us deal with, and the challenges of development in the Zongo. And we came in and we did 2 things. We established a ministry for Zongo and inner city development, as well as the Zongo Development Fund, right? Which means that going forward, for the first time in our history, the Zongos will now be part of the mainstream budget of the country, so that they have there's a line ministry, and you have allocations for Zongo development. This has never happened in our history, right? So we are looking at this, and this has started, and you are seeing major interventions across many Zongos. Of course, it's not every Zongo that has yet seen an intervention, because, as I say, we have 1,080 Zongos, so there are many. But if you look at Zongos, many Zongos across the country, you've had interventions in provision of water, in provision of classroom blocks. AstroTurfs, the Zongo Development Fund has done 10 AstroTurf in the country. By the way, before 2016, before 2017, Ghana had just 2 AstroTurfs, the whole of Ghana.
2 AstroTurfs.
Yes. Zongo Development Fund alone has done 10.
10 so far.
Yes, and then there are others. So we are over 30 now that have been
There is one still under construction in Bolga here.
Yes, yes. That's what I'm saying. There's 30 now either under construction, and many of them have also been completed. So we are making progress. Schools are being built, and so on. So the Zongo Development Fund is and the Zongo Ministry is one of the major interventions. This last year we sent 40 Zongo students, boys and girls, to Cuba to study medicine. And now they will train as doctors and come back. Wow. And we expect to do that.
Is this a novelty? It has never happened before?
Well, the point is that a program specifically designed for Zongo. People have been sent on scholarships, right? But you've never had a program specifically designed for the Zongo communities to bridge this gap that we see, right? We've never had that. So we are doing that. It's the same thinking when Nana Akufo-Addo said he was doing the Northern Development Authority, which was a program specifically designed for the North, for our development. right? It became bastardized in the implementation through the Savannah Accelerated Development Authority, SADA, that they took it and they ruined it. Now, but we are doing this Zongo Development Fund, the Zongo Ministry, and the medical things that we are doing, and the training for different professions that we are going to be doing is specifically targeted to the Zongo community, and that is what is novel about it.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So if you just joined us, we are privileged to have His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, joining us in the studio here. There are some messages that are coming through. I'll read them briefly. I'll come back to look at the COVID-19 impact and matters arising. Yeah. Good morning, Big Sammy. Sammy, please extend my warm greetings to the competent and dynamic and above all, the economic messiah of our time. We are very pleased to have him in the region, and we in the MPP wish him well in all his endeavors. 4 more years for the competent President Akufo-Addo and Dr. Bawumia to do more for Ghanaians. Honorable Ayimla is sending the message from Bolga East constituency. This one says that, okay, it's quite a lengthy one. Sorry, I'll not be able to do that because of the time. Whenever you are sending your message, be concise. All right. Sammy, good morning to you and our father in your studio. Tell our father that Bawumia Young Elephants Youth Group in the Bolga Central constituency are listening to his politically heavenly voice in a big fat radio, and we are much proud of him. Tell our father that they said we are holding a name to our group, and he doesn't know about that. But we hope one day you avail yourself to the group holding your mighty name. Once again, we are proud of you. From Agana Christopher Bolga Zaria. Okay, that's your fan base there.
Yes,
your fan base.
My greetings to them. Yes.
This one says, I mean, the mood in the region has changed due to the presence of the economic maestro. And on behalf of the youth of Upper East, I wish him a sound interaction with the good people of the region. So I mean, growing up, I thought the vice president duty was just to step in when his boss is not around. But Dr. Bawumia has proven me wrong. The women in my community have asked me to thank the vice president for giving them the opportunity to renew their NHIS card for their children in the comfort of their homes. Maxwell Adumbiri, he's talking about your digital, projects. Yeah. So I may ask His Excellency, 4 years, our Zongo pitch is not still completed. Any explanation? Sir Sylvester on Facebook, Azupua monitors. No one says 4 more for Nana. On Facebook, the MPP government has planned this development agenda before coming into power. Unlike the NDC, who has nothing to offer Ghanaians. This is coming from Yinibia Yimbire. Isahaku Mubarak says the 500 excavators, over 600 motor is finished, and now being all right. That's a wild allegation there. Let us see. Good morning, Sammy. Please ask our vice president how much is the dollar rating as at now compared to the past 4 years. Also, why should they abandon regional hospital? Should they abandon the Bolga Regional Hospital? In fact, they could have commissioned the regional hospital instead of the traffic light. That's coming from Abdul Nazil there. I greet you this morning, Your Excellency, and welcome to the region. Please, can you be specific on the projects and mention what the projects and the allocations? I think he said the delivery tracker is there, so we can deal with that. Now, let's talk about the impact of the COVID-19.
Yes.
How have you managed it? Have you been able to meet your expectations?
Yes. Sammy, you know that COVID-19 is one of these pandemics that is raging around the world. And Ghana so far has had a framework in managing COVID-19 that has been relatively successful. We recently were adjudged the 3rd best nation in the world in terms of management of COVID-19. But you have seen, we adopted a policy of testing, tracing, and treatment, the 3 T's. And we have been very proactive. The president has been very much on top of it. The government has been very much on top of it. It has had some major implications for our economy with declining revenues, increasing expenditures. But the president said right at the beginning that we know how to bring the economy back, but we don't know how to bring lives back once they are lost. So we are prioritizing lives and cushioning the Ghanaian public. And this is why we provided free water and free electricity for lifeline producers and ramping up on the testing and tracing and so on. So far, I think that we have relatively been successful. However, recently we are seeing increases in infections recently, and this is why the president recently has also provided in his update
Okay.
on what we need to continue doing as we proceed in terms of wearing masks and so on, and in the context of gatherings and so on. So I think that the COVID is not something until everybody has a vaccine or something, you cannot really say that you have defeated it. So it's always going to be work in progress, and we should follow the guidelines, wearing the masks, washing our hands, using sanitizers all the time. Because it is something that we always have to be ready to fight. We cannot say we have defeated it. We've made progress, but we have to continue.
Now, let's look at the management of the economy.
Yes.
Your Excellency, what you said in 2016 campaign season about borrowing, about the incompetent level, in your own words, the then NDC government managed the administration. Would you eat back your words, or you think you are on track? Convince us.
Oh, thank you very much, Sammy. My words were accurate and are still accurate. The NDC very, very incompetently managed this economy of ours. And I stated that, and the facts are there to show what they did, and their incompetent management resulted in the IMF program because they had no other alternative but to resort to the IMF for policy credibility, right? Because all the macroeconomic indicators were out of whack, right? Whether you were talking of exchange rate depreciation, inflation, interest rates, all those major indicators were moving completely in the wrong direction. And so we basically made that comment, and it's a comment that we fully stand behind. Now you look at what has happened over the last 4 years, and you will see that there has been a major sea change in the management of the economy. You've seen more discipline in the management of the economy. Of course, if you look at the situation up to 2019, when COVID came in, we had to relax some of that discipline for obvious reasons. But you would see that on all the major macroeconomic indicators, Sammy, we have performed better. There's hardly, most of the indicators, whether you are looking at agri growth, industrial growth, we have performed better. At the end of the day, that's I keep saying, you look at the fundamentals. Inflation is down, interest rates are down, exchange rate depreciation is down. All of those major indicators that anchor the performance of an economy, the external sector performance, our gross reserves, everything have been much, much, much better. Not just much better, but much, much, much better. And so in terms of our management of the economy, I'm very proud of the management of the economy as executed by the Ministry of Finance and the Bank of Ghana. They've done an excellent job. And we cannot, you see, an economy in 2016 that could not pay 70 million Ghana cedis in teacher training allowances. 70 million Ghana cedis. They could not pay. This same economy, right? Right? Just a year or so down the road, right? It's paying teacher training allowance, paying nursing training allowance, restored Arabic instructors allowance. It's introduced NAPCO, introduced planting for food and jobs, one constituency, one ambulance, one village, one dam, all and then free SHS, 2.2 billion Ghana cedis. Right now, in addition to that, we've had to rescue the financial sector from collapse. Right. And if you look at that, that is 21 billion Ghana.
Was it worth it?
Oh, absolutely worth it. Sammy, without that, this economy would have collapsed by now.
I see. They also argue that some people lost their jobs. So they were estimating that 1 million people lost their jobs.
No, that is not true. But
it's not true that 1 million lost their jobs.
Yeah, it's not true. The issue is more people would have lost their jobs if you hadn't intervened. Isn't it? Much more people would have lost their jobs if we had not intervened. In fact, we saved a lot of jobs by intervening to save the deposits of 4.6 million people. Sammy, can you imagine 4.6 million people who had their deposits in the financial institutions losing their deposits. And the collapse of the system. Now, if 4.6 million people lose their deposits, now, if you are anybody else who has deposits in the banking system, will you leave it there?
No.
Everybody else will be rushing to take their deposits out.
Okay.
And that will lead to a complete collapse. It was a scary situation, and I really salute the Bank of Ghana for the decisive action they took, because the system was on the verge of collapse, complete collapse. And they saved this country, saved the deposits of 4.6 million people and the jobs of many, many others in the financial system. So we've been able to do all of this. And back to my point, an economy that wasn't able to pay 70 million Ghana cedis has been able to pay over 27 billion Ghana cedis to take back this economy. And in the process, the fundamentals have been stronger than what we inherited. In the process, inflation is down, exchange rate depreciation is down. Sammy, exchange rate depreciation in Ghana today, 2020 election year, is the lowest since 1992.
The lowest.
The lowest.
Exchange rate.
Exchange rate depreciation is the lowest since 1992 in 28 years. In an election year, it is very remarkable. Very remarkable, and it's telling you about the management of the economy and the fundamentals, notwithstanding all these headwinds we are facing with COVID and all the banking sector reforms that we are facing and all those expenditures we've had to do. Notwithstanding all of that, the exchange rate depreciation is the lowest in the last 28 years. Inflation is down, interest rates are down. That is the measure of good economic management.
All right. So, Your Excellency, with you've been in office for the past 3 years and a half, looking at the borrowing that you have made, do you think you have been frugal in the expenditure of the monies that you have borrowed, the infrastructure we are getting? Is it worth the borrowing we have made? Because your opponents have accused you severally that, and it's historic. Your government is historic in terms of borrowing. And in 2016, did you say when you come into office you not borrow, or you say you borrow wisely?
That is just ridiculous. There's no NDC has this propaganda that they keep saying. I don't know whether you say that the government, not even the U.S., not even the U.S. government or the Japanese government says they would not borrow. That is ridiculous. No economic manager worth its salt will tell you that when they come, they will not borrow. No. But you will borrow responsibly, of course. Right? And this is what we are doing. Right? We have, of course, every government borrows. But you borrow responsibly and you use the money responsibly. Isn't it? Right. And what if you look at what we have done, as I said, 18,981 projects in just 4 years. Massive projects across, roads. If you look at asphalt, for example, 751 kilometers of asphalt overlay in Ghana, the largest in our history. 751 kilometers. You have the Tema interchange, Tamale interchange, Pokwasi interchange, PTC interchange in Takoradi, Obechibi Lamte interchange. Now, these are just about 6 interchanges in one term. It has never happened in Ghana.
But Your Excellency, was there not any other way out that we could have built these things without going to borrow?
Oh, but you borrow smartly. For example, if you look at Tamale interchange and you look at PTC interchange, right? These are from the Cyanohydro facilities. Cyanohydro, right? And Cyanohydro is an arrangement that we had using bauxite, refined bauxite to exchange for infrastructure. Remember when we brought up this Cyanohydro, the NDC wanted to stop it. They even wrote to the IMF to complain that they should stop this Cyanohydro, right? Now, without the Cyanohydro, which essentially pushes our repayments till after we have developed the bauxite and refined it and exported it, right? So even though you have an obligation, it is going to come after you have realized the investment from your bauxite, industrialized your bauxite production. You see what I mean? Now that is a smart way of borrowing.
Right.
You see what I mean? So, but without that, you will not be able to do the Tamale interchange. You will not be able to do the PTC interchange in Takoradi. So many of the roads that we are seeing today that are taking place under the Cyanohydro program will not be able to be done. You know, we have done 79 bridges since we came into office, and so many projects. As I said, 18,891 across every region in this country, and it is quite remarkable. As I said, you know, and not only are we doing infrastructure, Sammy, we are not just doing infrastructure, we are building a nation. Right? Not just building infrastructure. NDC did their Green Book infrastructure. We are doing infrastructure, yes, but we are doing a nation building. And that's why we said, no, let's restore teacher training allowances. Let's restore nursing training. Let's bring ambulances to our people. Let's help our farmers with planting for food and jobs. Let's help the Zongos. Let's help the unemployed graduates with NAPCO. Let's bring in free senior high school to help. You know, so we are putting in a framework for development, 1D, 1F for industrialization, one district, one warehouse to store agri produce. You see what I mean? So one village, one dam to help. So we have a major economic program, Pualugu Dam, major irrigation program. That is the biggest investment in Ghana since in northern Ghana since independence. You know, so we are having a major holistic approach to investment. That is not just to say that you are doing infrastructure, but you are building a nation, an industrialized nation. And what the digital infrastructure we've put in place, Sammy, is Ghana is going to be in the next 2 years or so probably the most digitized economy on the face of Africa. We have got major things in place, and now we are linking them. National ID, interoperability, digital addressing, the Ghana.gov platform, the QR, universal QR code. All of these have been put in place. It's not like they are things that we are thinking about doing. We've finished them. Massive. Most countries in Africa have not done it.
You are leapfrogging.
We are leapfrogging. I mean, yesterday someone sent me Cranfield University, and this is, you know, something that they are now thinking about on 21st of October. They put it on their website. This is something that they are now thinking about researching. Now, we are already in Ghana, the largest medical drone delivery service in the world. In the world. And by next year, we want to expand drone delivery across the whole of Ghana. Every constituency will have it. Now, so Ghana is already leapfrogging in many ways. Today, we can renew our NHIS at home. You can send money to people anywhere. You can move money between your bank account and your mobile wallet. This is not happening anywhere in Africa. Right? And we did mobile money interoperability, by the way, for $4.5 million. NDC wanted to do it for $1.2 billion.
Wow, that's hoping amount.
Yes. So we are building a nation. I'm so excited about the future of this country. And I'm not talking of, when I talk of future, I'm not talking about 10, 20 years. I'm just talking within the next 5 years. Yes, or the next 3-4 years. We are going to transform this country. We are transforming this economy. We are doing things. Look, national ID. Nigeria has recently abandoned the issue of its card. They are just going to issue numbers to people. They don't want to issue the cards anymore. I mean, it's not easy. Ghana is the only country in the world that I know of that has done instant issuance of national ID card. The only country. Right? So we are doing things that many countries are not able to do. I'm so proud of our people, and we are doing them with our people in Ghana.
Your Excellency, as a leader of the economic management team, yesterday some Men's Gold customers started asking me their feet and all those things. What do you have to tell them? And then all that. Is there any package for them? Is there any assurance from you?
Well, the Men's Gold matter is a matter of an illegal operation. Government and the Bank of Ghana is very dedicated to dealing with legal operations of financial institutions, right? That they have a responsibility to licensed deposit-taking institutions.
Okay.
Right? Those are protected under the law, and the president has made sure that those institutions that collapse, including DKM, their depositors have been given their monies back by and large. That has happened.
Right.
Now, but if you have a men's gold, and remember Bank of Ghana kept warning men's gold customers that this is an illegal operation. And they were telling Bank of Ghana to basically not to disturb them. They were enjoying their interests or whatever, right? So as it is now, there is nothing in the law that requires government to bring or to refund the depositors' monies to them, right? So if government has a different opinion at some point, depending on the circumstances, that will be something we'll work on. But as it is now, government has a responsibility to depositors in licensed financial institutions. And those are the ones that we have refunded the monies to.
So as head of the security of the country, I want you to assure us, as we are getting to election, your last message to our listeners out there.
Thank you very much, Sammy. I think it's very important. Ghana is the most peaceful country in West Africa. We have always been able to conduct elections in peace. And elections are about, exchange of ideas amongst political parties. You essentially say, this is how I want to tackle this problem. This person says, this is how I want to tackle this problem. This is what I have done. This is what I have done. Your records, right? So we'll look at the records and look at the ideas, and that is what people should look at. If you look at the record of the NDC in the Upper East region, for example, it's an abysmal record. They did very little for 8 years. And so we're asking the people of the Upper East region to give the MPP a chance. This is not a Kambonga party. I'm not a Kambonga, right? This is a party or national party. We are doing for everybody. When we say free SHS, it's for everybody. Planting for food and jobs for everybody. One constituency, one ambulance for everybody. One district, one factory is for everybody. NAPCO is for everybody. So all the things that we are doing is a nationalistic approach to development, inclusive approach to development. So we're asking everybody to come and join us. The constituencies and regions that are extremely loyal to the NDC have not seen much development. If you look at the MPP, that's where the development is. So the people of Upper East region, you have voted for the NDC for a long time. Come into our market. The MPP market is a better market, and I believe you will all enjoy that market much better than the NDC market. Thank you very much to all your listeners.
Before you go, I have an appeal on behalf of the police. They have been doing well. The newly created Divisional Police Command, they need logistics. In this election year, they need logistics. And as a head of security, I'll appeal on their behalf that at least they get a pickup so they'll be able to facilitate their work.
Thank you very much, Sami. That is well taken, and we will follow that up and see, not only here, but across the country.
All right.
Thank you.